So welcome to, again, our free, one of our free in-services, and this one is on the Konnector. To Pilates and Beyond with Viktor Uygan, who is the inventor of the Konnector and the inventor of the Konnect Method. He's got a really, I love Viktor. Viktor's got a really creative mind and a really interesting way of looking at how the body works and how to integrate all of the pieces. I think Konnect Method is really the right name for what he does. So again, I'm Nora St. John, Education Program Director here, and I'll be hosting today, which means if you have any questions at all, you can do a couple of things. You can either put them in the chat, or you can just raise, do the little hand raise on your Zoom, and I will, actually, I prefer it if you chat for the moment, and then I can feed those to Viktor when it's appropriate, make sure that you get all your questions answered. We'll also save a few minutes at the end for that. Now I want to get out of your way and let Viktor take it away so he can introduce you to the Konnector. All right, Viktor, I'm going to spotlight you for everyone here.
Thank you, Nora, for having me here. Thank you for Bounce Body having me here. And hi, my name is Viktor Uygan. I'm an inventor of Konnector and founder of Konnect Method, where we use external resources to create internal connections in human body. So one of the products is Konnector. If you guys don't know about it, how many of you here has been teaching Pilates for a long time with reformer and feels the straps for the reformer, it's a little bit restricted. You could go up and down, bend and push, and you feel so liberated when you do circles because it adds a little bit freedom. How many of you? Just type it there, me, 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 me. Or I have one more question. How many of you ever felt, okay, let me lay down and I want to create some movement with straps, and you try a specific movement and you check if it's going to work with reformer or not, because the strap's not going to let you move the way you want it because they are fixed. Me, 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 type it there too. So we want to know who felt the way I felt. So this was exactly the reason why I searched to create Konnector, trying to create a system that will be enabled to move freely without worrying about, can I do this movement? Will this work with the straps? No, right now with Konnector, you move the way you want to move and straps adjusts to your movement. What I mean by that, if you guys don't know about it, Konnector, it's a one rope pulley system that converts your existing reformer. This is really important. So you don't have to buy brand new reformer. If you all have a reformer and you basically order a specific kit for your reformer, and it converts your reformer to move independently from each other, but while they're being connected. So what I mean by while being connected, how many of you work with the trapeze table? Mostly everybody. Or the springboard? Mostly everybody. So in those type of equipment, you can still move independently, right? You have two springs. You can pull your right arm and then the left arm, but they will not be connected to each other, meaning you are using two different resources, two different springs. When you pull the right spring, the left spring will have no clue what you're doing on the right side. And the difference with the Konnector, I'm just going to sit here and I am basically pulling the right side and the left strap's getting shorter. So it's reacting to my pull and then come back in and do the other side. Or let's say I'm doing bicep curls. Right now I'm doing together. And I can hold one and move just the right one, and the left one, it is still active. And the weight of the left one changes. It's a dynamic isometric. It gets heavier when I bring the right strap in, and it gets lighter when I extend my right arm. So this was a big game changer for me. I have a huge passion for movement. I wanted to move. I just didn't want to keep going up and down with both legs and bend and push or just do circles. I was able to explore contralateral movement patterns, bilateral movement patterns, unilateral movement patterns. And I wanted to just feel free, but still connected. And the first Konnector had only 2 straps. And now, because I was kind of frustrated after being really happy, I was able to move freely. I got frustrated. Why am I just doing arms only and then legs and arms and legs? So I tinkered, I tried to find a solution, and I was able to find a solution to create 4 straps in this system. And I would like to show you that. After I show you that, I am going to answer the question is why I believe is the Konnector is the future of the Pilates, and it goes hand to hand with the Pilates. So what I wanted to show you, I'm going to do some leg and arm works. From here, I'm laying down. One of the biggest things also, what I did, I like to show you, is Konnector comes with the tri-loop. I'm going to put the straps on my feet, and I'm going to do a couple exercises that you guys all familiar. Straight legs up and down. I'm going to do bend and push. As you guys seen here, when I do bend and push, I can move my ankle joint. I can do dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. But if I'm going up and down, if I want to do dorsiflexion when I flex my hips, do you guys see this is my dorsiflexion, but this is not full range of motion? Why? I know if I do my full dorsiflexion, I will lose the strap. So this frustrated me as well. And I was like, okay, we think hips are really important to move. We think knees are very important to move. But how about ankle? Why are we not moving our ankle joint? And the reason was because of the flaw of the machine, the straps will slip off our feet. So what I did, I created an extra loop on the double loop. This is called tri-loop. You just pull it and it appears. When you don't want it, you just tuck it back and it disappears. So this is called tri-loop. And I'm going to basically open the tri-loop and put it on my ankle. And I'm going to do the other one as well. You guys ready? Now, when I go up, I am doing full dorsiflexion on my ankle joint, and my ankle joints are free to move during the exercise. During the circles, I'm not worried about losing the straps and creating funny shapes with my feet because I want to hold the straps in. They are free. They're not going to go anywhere. Now that we did 2 legs, I start to move 1 limb at a time. Once again, this guy is connecting and communicating with the right. Even that it looks like it's not doing anything, it is constantly adjusting their position because the weight gets lighter and heavier. Then we could do reciprocal movement pattern. One goes down, one goes up. And last, I can take 2 more straps and I can do full body movement. All 4 limbs communicating with each other. Right now, they are decided to move together as a team. Now my arm says, we're going to stay here. Legs, why don't you guys move? And now leg says, okay, it's your turn. Now arm comes in. Now they say, can we move towards each other and away from each other? Once again, they are communicating and they are timing the movement pattern. They said, can we move 1 limb at a time? Or 2 limb at a time. This is one version. This is the second. This is the third. This is the fourth. This is the fifth. This is the sixth. And come back in. As you guys see, not only gives you freedom of movement, it gives you many different options to move freely. All you have to do is just basically decide to move, and the straps is going to adjust to you. All right. So, how many of you have questions? If you do, please start to writing questions so Nora can tell me later on. Now,
so Victor, I don't see any questions yet, but one thing I want to bring up, because what Victor's making this look like is really simple, right? It looks like, oh, I'm just moving this limb, I'm moving that limb. What you're not getting from the visual is how much feedback you get from those 4 straps that go all the way through the center of the body. That you really can tell, like, oh, my right leg's working harder than my left leg's working harder than my right. I'm not connecting, my hips just sliding. It really gives so much feedback to the body. I just wanted to bring that up, Victor, because that I find is so important about this method, is it tells you so much about what's happening in the body.
Thank you very much, Nora. It's a great point. And people with asymmetries, like a shorter leg, scoliosis, that's the first thing they say. The first thing they go, oh my God, I never feel it right here. What's wrong? Something's wrong with this. The reason nothing's wrong, what's happening right now, the straps is not letting them compensate, because the people with asymmetries, they have, even not just people with asymmetries, symmetric people have compensation plans as well. We use the fixed straps to able to perform the exercise the way we want it to perform, using our strengths in our body. But Konnector's unique design, if you basically have to make the exercise equal with symmetric, you have to apply equal force on the straps. If you pull uneven pull, if you use your right arm more than left, the strap's going to let you know you're not doing correctly or you're not doing together. And the client has chance, or the instructor has chance to correct the client to do it correctly. How many of you feel are tired kind of adjusting the straps? You know, you lay down or the client lays down, you're ready to do the exercise, and the client goes, this is a little shorter, this is longer. And then you go there and you make your adjustments, you do it, and then you say, is it good? And the client goes like, a little bit, yeah, sure. And then you try again, yeah? Now it's so funny. I have my clients, sometimes it still happens, or the instructors, and they go here and they go, hey, the straps are uneven. Can you make them even? And I'm like, actually, it's not the straps, it's you. Can you make yourself even? So they go like that. They're like, okay, fine. What's next? Right? Because they realize actually the Konnector straps is just duplicating where they are, where they at. And some people, they're not even, right? Some people has a shorter arm. So I'm going to try to make a shorter arm by pulling it from here. Do you see? Now, if my right arm was short, do you guys see it? Because I'm choking one strap and the other one is long. Do you see how Konnector immediately adjusted the strap length? Still, my right arm or left arm is getting 50% of the weight. I hope this is kind of demonstrating quite well. This is doesn't matter how long or how short, if they are even or they are not even, you're going to get the equal weight between your arms because of the straps adjusting themselves automatically. Let's talk about second thing that a lot of people feels, okay, this is great, but I also like my old reformer, my repertoire, old repertoire. Again, so let's think about what is in old repertoire. Here we go. Let's say on your knees, and let's do triceps with your hands. From here, you tell me, move both arms back equally, evenly, and come back in. Back and forward. This is an example. If you see me moving with the right first, you're going to see it and you're going to correct me. So if you want to do your regular reformer exercises, all you have to do is cue the regular reformer repertoire. And once you cue, which is you're going to say equally, evenly, both arms, same time, that is going to replicate your regular reformer exercises. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask a question. I will get back to you and answer that as well. Next, we wanted to talk about today why it's the future and why it is Pilates. So I want to ask you guys, what is Pilates to you? So go ahead, type it. What is Pilates? What do you guys tell your clients? For many years, I had many explanations, and everybody's think differently, and they have different approach to explain what Pilates is for them and for their clients. And I'm going to tell you mine. For me, I don't think Pilates invented the movement, the exercises, right? We know there's so many exercise form is like 5,000 years old, like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. There's many old exercise modalities. But what he did, he basically added his principles. He said, here are the movements. Just don't do this movement this way, the way you want to do it. Do it using my principles. And I think that makes the method very special and very unique. And I believe it. And I trying to really explain and teach that way to my clients. And I practice that way. So now we say that, and we are seeing this connector. Is connector goes hand to hand with his principles? Let's talk about it. So there's one of them that for me is really important, whole body movement. Whole body movement. He didn't say move your body limbs at a time to create a whole body movement. He believed the full whole body movement to working together. So there's 4 straps. We have 4 limbs, and I believe moving them all together. I want to show actually different ways maybe to do those and the unique ways while I'm talking to you. It's very beneficial. So what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to sit in the box. I'm going to put these guys on the feet. Once again, because I have this tri-loop, they're going to stay here. So he did whole body movement, I think is really important. And what did we say? We have 4 straps, 4 limbs. And from here, I'm using my arms, correct? Good. I'm using my torso, is keeping me up. Yeah, I could do reciprocal movement patterns. Can I involve my legs? Why not? Let's have a sit here. And now let's do whole body movement. Is this cool? I hope you guys liking this. I love stuff like this. Now, from here, rhythm and flow. Do you guys see that actually I am kind of using my rhythm to control the exercise and move the carriage evenly. And then I need to change the exercises without disrupting the flow. Do you think this is enough change? I think it is. Now, another change. I think this is. Now, another change. Imagine the flow that you can create without really changing the position, but changing the exercise during the movement. So it creates a great flow. Then balance, muscular development, right? Again, so if I'm pushing evenly and if you see me not able to arrive same time, what does that mean, right? If my right takes it over and the left doesn't catch up, what does that mean? That means my left side is weaker and right arm is overpowering. So this is going to help you to create that balanced muscle development as well. We did talk about centering, legs, arms connected through your torso. So everything becomes centering exercise. The information between upper limb to lower limb has to go through your torso, which is your centering. You have to control and concentrate, right? Once again, do you think I will be able to tell you what I'm doing tonight after this exercise, or what I did yesterday, or which one is my favorite movie? No. When you start to give clients this complicated movement patterns, they have to concentrate. They do concentrate, and they're trying to be precision with the movement. So these are some of the examples that I wanted to show you. Another flow thing that I want to show you from here, which I love. Konnector creates a wider range of motion for the carriage. You know how some of the exercises that the carriage will bottom out and it's quite frustrated? So check this out. This is one of my favorite. From here, once again, I'm demonstrating the flow. Was this easier to just change? Yes, it was. I'm right here. And how many of you like to do hamstring curls? How many of you type? Can you guys see what is the difference right now? I just mentioned to you the cart does not bottoming out, and I'm able to extend my legs full range. Now, olden days, we used to do hamstring curls like this. How many of you can think what I'm telling you, what I'm trying to explain? It will clink, clink. So we will do very small range of motion of the hamstrings. Now I'm able to extend all the way and then come back in. Extend, then come back in. Then I could do just one leg at a time. Or I could do alternating. Or I could do reciprocal without moving the carriage, controlling. Or I could do full body movement. Are you guys familiar with this? Here you go, mat work on the reformer and with resistance. Beautiful. Ooh, I am sweating. I am working so much. So, Nora, I'm going to ask if there's any questions.
I have a question. What weight are you on there?
All right. So right now I am on one red.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you could do it with one blue as well. Just depends where you're at. With Konnector, basic rule when you're using the 4 straps, because the carriage will travel a little farther, you can use lighter weight with 4 straps, only using with 4 straps. If you're using only 2 black straps, it will act exactly like a regular reformer. So your spring settings can stay exactly same. Saying that, a lot of people tell us, no, this is lighter, it feels lighter. And that's the feeling because we basically work with the engineers, and if the strap length is exactly same as a regular reformer, the Konnector acts exactly same. the springs, like one rate will feel one rate with the regular reformer or with the connector, but the strap length has to be same length. That's what you have to be careful. But most people says like, no, this feels lighter. And the feeling they get actually, connector straps makes the reformers a little bit smoother on the joints. So the carriage doesn't change. It's the same carriage, same wheels, but the feeling on the joint and the engagement of the muscles makes you feel like, oh my God, this is lighter and smoother. That's a very common feedback that I receive. Thank you for the question. Anybody else? Another question?
There's a question about your connector training courses.
Yes. So we have 2-day, 18-hour connector training. And these are NCPT credits. There's an NCPT credit, 16 credits. So in one connector training, you could do all required credits for the 2 years. Because of the pandemic, I have done some online trainings as well. But mainly where I find myself doing the connector trainings is the studio owners. They would like to convert their studio to a connector, and they will host a connector training. So not themselves, but their instructors will get trained. And that way, as a team, they will introduce the connector to their clients. And if you guys have any interest, you can contact me and we can talk about hosting a training in your studio. And if you don't have a studio or you're just by yourself, then you can go to connectmethod.com or inbalancedbody.com on the connector page as well. There's a link. You could see upcoming scheduled trainings. And best way to find out also, again, if you go to connectmethod.com and if you put your name, your email, you submit the email to me, I will communicate with you with upcoming trainings. We will be connected that way. All right. So do you guys want to see a couple different ways to use the connector? If there's no more questions, I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to put the box down. These are another fun way to move with the connector. And it's a unique way. So from here, I'm switching the straps. I'm putting the gray straps on top and the black straps on the bottom. Now from here, I'm going to take one gray strap, bring it behind my back. I'm going to put them like a jacket. I'm going to repeat the same thing other side. There we go. Beautiful. Now, can you guys see my back? It's kind of like cross. I'm going to turn it. Connector gives me wings. And here we go. I'm back. Now, just here, you could actually move and just see that your spine is connected to your pelvic, your arms connected to your shoulders and shoulders to the spine. There's a whole sense of connection that you're moving from your core, and your body is connected to the machine, not just pelvis is connected to carriage, and your shoulders, the distal part of your spine is connected to straps, which is part of the carriage, right? And then you take the straps in your hands, and then I'll bring them back and forward. During the trainings, when I do this immediately with the people, I ask them a question. I said, how do you feel? And just type it down. What do you think I feel here? Let's see if you can guess. Well, what they say is, I feel supported. And it's funny because so supported usually means if I have a chair or if I have a wall behind me, and if I lean to the chair, if I lean to the wall, that is supported, correct? That's how we feel. But look, because the straps connected to each other, when I pull the black straps, it actually brings my shoulder forward. It is pulling it forward this way. But because I want to sit nice and straight, I tell my body to hold me in the position which activates my back chain muscles to hold me there while the gray strap's pulling me forward. And that translates as a feeling supportive. It's amazing how our body works. Just activating the correct muscle groups, which is the back chain, you feel supported. So from here, again, you are free to move one at a time. You're free to move, doing rotation, spinal rotation with the arms. Do you guys see how I'm keeping the carriage steady? So I'm coordinating my movement patterns. I could do spinal rotation, looking backwards or looking forward, and then switch. And then switch. Once again, the carriage is now moving. And another thing I'm going to explain to you here that I love. So I'm going to put one strap down. So I hope this is showing through the camera, but when I pull this strap, which is the right strap, this strap is connected to the right. So when I pull this, this is getting pulled forward. And when this is go forward, do you see what's happening in my shoulder? The gray strap pulls my right shoulder backwards. So it's like every time I pull the black strap back and my elbow, there's a teacher in my shoulder and it's guiding me to go backwards. And that teacher, that cue, that tactile cue is activated with my own movement. So it's very organic. Nobody's deciding. It's not an external source pulling it. It's my action of pulling the strap creates that assistance. So rotation and rotation and rotation and rotation. Another thing that I mentioned already, having carriage not bottoming out. Who likes rowing? Tell me who likes rowing, who likes enjoying rowing. I love rowing. So let's do one. So from here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and arms up. Right about here. Do you guys notice what happened? And come back in. I did not do essential part of the movement usually we do. I'm kind of kidding. This is what we do. Right from here, we come up to here, and then we scoop the straps. How many of you agree with me? How many of you does that? So the cart bottoms out, and we scoop the strap with our hands to restart the exercise. And look at this. Right now, you do not have to scoop the straps. You can finish. The cart did not bottom out. I still have resistance. And from here, I can continue and flow the exercise without doing any extra movement patterns with my arms to able to catch the straps. Talk about being versatile and being creative. Once again, I'm right here. Usually this is all we do, but why? Why can't we add some biceps in here? Remember, you just move and the straps will adjust you. Okay, I like this. Can I do tricep? Of course you can. You thought about it and you can. Can you do both together? Let's try. Oh, it's happening. How about away from each other and towards each other? Reciprocal movement pattern. And relax. So as you guys seen, Konnector makes your reformer much more versatile without changing it. Anything that I showed you here, anything I demonstrated, I showed you the original repertoire version first. I always do it together, just like original repertoire. Then I have an option to add to do single arm or alternating or reciprocal. Yeah, it is always an option. You don't have to do it if you don't need to, but it's there for you to use it. So now, if there's no more questions, I'm going to show another way to use the connector, which is very unique. And I'm going to demonstrate it.
Victor, we got one question. It's a little bit specific. And LJ, if I'm not getting this right, chime in. I'm also restricted to my teaching on reform with only some shoulder flexion. Can you show some ways to move with shoulder flexion overhead with spinal extension?
With spinal extension, arms up.
Yeah, I think so. And LJ, feel free to chime in here if you have more clarity on that question.
That is my question. Thank you.
Okay. I can show you a couple shoulder exercises that I think I love, and we don't do it enough, right? All right. So let's do this. I'm going to bring the box again. Here we go. And let me start first with pointing out what was the difficulties in the regular reformer. We are all familiar with arm pulls, correct? So what was the problem about this exercise? This is great right here. We can add the extension, yeah? But when we are flexing the shoulder, dun, 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 right? So this is kind of what you're talking about. Is that correct? So now check this out. From here, if I'm going to do actually with single arm work, look, it actually gives me enough opportunity to go all the way to flexion with my right arm, and I can go back. Now the left. Isn't this cool? And now I finally can coordinate and move my arms the way it's designed to move, right? And you could do many different things. You could just be creative. It's all about your range of motion. But the minute you bring the both arms here, machine had a fault, right? So if you tell me, but Victor, I love moving together too, and I want an option to do moving together with my arms. Okay, check this out. Here we go, connector magic. I'm going to take the gray strap and I'm going to take the tri-loop, because some reformers doesn't have infinity bar. So I want to show you the way you could use this with any reformer, any studio reformer. And if you have Allegro ones, then you could use this knobs. You're going to take this and you're going to put it on the jump board knobs. I'm going to do the same thing in here. Actually in here, so if you have infinity bar, you can just put them in here. You can put them in here on Allegros, or you can go under and you can put it on the jump board knob, which all studio reformers has. Can you tell already what happened? You see the carriage moved up. I'm going to lay down. All right. You guys ready? I want drum roll, please. And I go forward, forward, forward. Oh my God, the carriage didn't bottom out. I go more, 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 more. Now I'm only full range. Right here, I'm doing flexion and I'm working all the flexion muscles. They are agonists.
Come on.
And now I'm going forward and I'm working my flexor muscles. Now they are agonists and the extenders are relaxing. So full range of movement. And then you could do it with the extension as well. Did that answer? Did that give you some ideas how you can use it?
Yes, that was very helpful. Thank you.
So thank you so much for asking that question, because I think it's so valuable and it's so important for us to be able to move our body full range of motion. And sometimes we get content with our movement just because the equipment choice that we have, or the or I should say ability of the machine that we use, right? So somehow now adding the connector, it creates more ability to your reformer to able to do more.
Victor, can I ask one more along those same lines?
Of course, please.
So because I've been restricted with overhead movement on the traditional Pilates reformer, I sometimes take off the shoulder blocks so that when we do supine arm work, I can get my more range of motion in the shoulder. Can this whole system still allow us to take off the shoulder blocks, or is it then not needed because of the way that the system works?
It's a great question. Shall we do it?
Sure.
So from here, I'm going to lay down. And right here, I'm going to change the straps. I'm going to put the black straps down, gray straps on top. Gray straps goes on my feet. Actually, I'm so sorry. Before I start this, I'm just going to do this first. So in here, we all know, even that I change my shoulder block, my cart is going to bottom out. You're not going to be able to go all the way back. Look, even I'm choking it, I will come here and I go back right about here. Do you see, before the shoulder, even it's a problem, I have a problem because the cart bottoms out. Of course, you could say maybe you can really choke the straps, but it's going to be difficult. You're going to be able to go backwards maybe, but it's going to get very heavy to pull those straps forward, and it's going to be very difficult for the hands. So now I want to go back and I want to demonstrate the connector way to do what you wanted to do. So from here, I'm taking the gray straps, and gray straps is, in a way, it is extra. So what I mean, when I do arm work on the carriage, where's the original straps? They are in my hand because I want to work my arms. So that's why the black straps is going to be in my hand and the gray is going to be there. So now I'm taking the black right here. This is unbelievable. Thank you, Balanced Body. Look how easy to take this guys out. I'm laying down. All I have to do, twist it up and take it out. And now, dun, dun, dun. Please, one more drum roll. I can go all the way down, back, and all the way back. Is this what you wanted to see?
That is beautiful. That is exactly what I was looking for.
Thank you
so much.
Oh, God, it's my pleasure. And you see, again, you have a move freedom. You can close. You can go up and down. You could start to add abdominals, which I love it, the way it feels. All your clients right about now, especially male clients, I want to ask you a question. What are they complaining right about now? It's the 5th rep or 6th rep of the exercise. They're not complaining about their arms. They are complaining about their hip flexors. They feel like their hip flexors is cramping and it's in their throat. Am I telling the truth? I'm telling you, all the time. But in here, look at this, extra gray straps, it gives a feedback to my leg. So when I pull the black straps down, the gray straps pulling it in this way. So what I do, I push against the gray straps with my hamstrings, right? So that helps me to activate the hamstrings and get rid of the hip flexor, overusing the hip flexors right here. It's amazing. It works fantastic with people with tight hip flexors. And in my experience, mostly male clients.
Victor, I have a question for you from Maria
Yes.
Rosa. And that is, you haven't quite described the difference between the black and the gray straps, right? Because they have different feeling in terms of resistance. So I just want to throw that out to you to answer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. So the reason I made a deal about it, the gray straps extra, and we just use it as an option, because of the pulley system, when you use the gray straps, the springs feels half of the resistance. So if you have two red springs and you use the two red with the black straps, it will feel like a two red strap, the springs. If you use only two gray straps without the black straps, if you put the black straps on the shoulder rest, that two red spring will feel like a one spring because of the pulleys. There's a lot of pulleys involved. It's the same idea that you've seen in the constructions. A one man can power and lift a lot of stones up to second floor or third floor because there's a lot of pulleys involved. It's the same idea. So thank you for telling me, reminding me that, Nora. So in here, I don't have equal weight with my arms and with my legs. My legs has lighter weight and my arms have heavier weight. Why did I choose this? Because I'm going back to original reformer exercises, and this is part of the original reformer arm and abdominal work. And where the straps in those exercises? They are in my hands. What is the color of the straps of the original reformer? It is black. It is not gray. So that's the easier way to understand. If I'm here and if I start to do some leg work, am I really doing a leg work? No, because the resistance is so light, I will end up doing more abdominal work probably. Does that make sense? So if I choose to do leg work, all I have to do is swipe the straps. So I will put the black ones on my feet. Here we go. Now in here, now I'm ready to do leg work because there's more weight to support the power of my leg. And the arms has extra straps. This is an extra option to be involved in the movement without changing the integrity of the exercise. I hope that makes sense. Any other questions? This is really helpful for you to see what you guys thinking, what are you guys wondering, or to discuss any questions or any concerns you have. So I am loving the questions you have, and if you have more, please keep coming.
So here's one from Jean A, who says, I've been trained by you. One thing I find so helpful for clients with overuse of hip flexors and weak hamstrings is using all straps on legs, on feet, and behind hamstrings. Can Victor show this? Clients love it.
Yes, they do. All right. Thank you. I would love to show that. It's so cool. So here we go. So in here, this is a common exercise. If somebody has a back pain, and you want them to do the strap work, what do we do? We have to take the load of the distal part of our body, and we have to bring it proximal, right? So what we did, oops, I lost the strap. Here we go. Sorry, I was adjusting my microphone. So from here, we can put the black straps behind our knees, right? You can use the big strap or you can use the small strap right up here. So then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to do the same thing. So this we could do with the old reformer, and we done it. I don't know if you guys tried it. It feels great. It feels great to do circles. Why? Because of the weight of the straps is more proximal to the hip joint, which where the work needs to be done. This is where the work is happening. And unlike like regular reformer, in here we could do one leg at a time, right? We could do reciprocal movement patterns. So this could be a mat work, basically, you know, the dead bug, the toe tips, things like that. You have all those opportunities to provide. Then we never done this way with the straight legs. Why? Because there's no feedback in the distal part of your legs. But with Konnector, we can actually close that chain and we can have complete connection between the distal part and the proximal part of the legs, keeping the weight close to your hips right here. Going up and down. I can truly flex going up and point. My ankle joint is still involved. Another thing this does, because of the black straps, which is the heavier weight, do you guys remember? Is underneath my knee joint. Do you guys see it? All the weight is on my hip and my knee joint does not have pressure. So it's still involved, but it doesn't have the load. So it's great for knee injuries. It's great for clients with hyperextension. So they can realize they don't have to lock and push back. The weight has to be controlled by the hamstrings. And in here, I'll just show you a couple crowd favorites. Who loves short spine? I should have said, who doesn't? And right here, do you guys see I'm moving exactly the way I will move? Nothing's changing. I'm not changing anything. And what it does, the straps provides extra resistance right about here while I'm rolling down. It's basically creates a traction from my knee to my spine and push out. There's two different ways to do the short spine, maybe many ways actually. But for me, one is keeping the distance between the heel and the glutes and rolling down. Or the second version is keeping the heel where they at and roll away from the heel. And that's the two version. And then because you have a connector, you could kind of do some fun stuff, right? From here, maybe we'll take a little bit swimming or walking with the ankle movement patterns. Can we do some bicycling? Yes, we can. Can we reverse it? Yes, we can. And relax. So this is a great way to prevent some of the injuries or some of the difficulties client might have, like a hyperextended knees, or as we mentioned, knee injuries. Yes, this feels great. Now I want to also show that you don't have to just use the force strap with your legs for the short spine. You can actually do the short spine with all four arms and legs. They coordinate, they move away from each other. Arm and leg coordination. from here, you could do just arms, legs, arm and legs. You can roll down, coordinating them. Good. I'm sure you're thinking a lot more to do. And the best part about the connector, you are free to move. Once again, I've been demonstrating different exercises. All I'm thinking, can I do this? Can I move this way? And I just move and I do it and it works. So any other questions? I want to show very fast, actually, before the question. I know we are getting to the end. In the regular reformer, how many of you try to grab both of the straps and wanted to go in front of the reformer and do some exercises? And you realize this is so heavy and the cart, there's no more space. I cannot do it, right? Because of the pulley design of the connector, your connector becomes a lot more than just reformer. Now, I can do all my repertoire, trapeze repertoire in here, trapeze spring repertoire. And again, don't say, so why would you do it there? Do it in the trapeze. No, in the trapeze, they are independent. But with connector, they are independent while being connected. You could use your reformer as an armchair. So from here, I could do all the repertoire that you guys know in the armchair and more. Is sitting. You have full range of motion, not from here, even there. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about the carriage bottoming out. You're free with the movement patterns. You could do full range of motion and extension. If you have non-advanced clients, specialty clients, like pregnancy, elderly clients, clients with balance issue, I can bring all the carriage work to here and make them exercise and understand the hip extension work so they don't have a fear of falling and they keep going this. How many of your clients, they do this all the time, right? Because they're afraid of falling. Now I can bring it to here, all the work that we know, that we love. It's a different way to approach it, making them feel safe and comfortable. Once they achieve this, once they get good at it, then you can tell them, you're doing amazing. Now I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to take you to the carriage and we're going to do exactly the same thing that we learned. What do you guys think?
Amazing.
I see some thumbs up. Any comments?
Yeah,
There
I
was
have
a
a question.
question?
What is the weight difference between the connectors and the regular straps?
It's a great question. So if the black straps length is equal to regular reformer, your one red spring will feel exactly the same when you're using both two straps. And if you're using all four straps, the carriage will move a little farther. So you have to make it little lighter because it will feel a little heavier. I can demonstrate that very fast. So from here, if I move my arm at the end of this black carriage, do you see how far the carriage moved? So trying to make a mental mark, I move up to here. Now, if I take all the straps and pull it, do you see I moved farther forward? And more I move forward with the carriage, the spring feels little heavier. So to answer your question directly, if you're using two straps, it's exactly same settings. if you're using all 4 straps and during the exercise, you make it little lighter. And because of that, I will highly recommend to adding yellow spring to your reformer. I found it very beneficial. If one red, one blue is too heavy and one red is too light, it's a great between settings with yellow.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Again, this is recorded. So if you want to take a look at it, again, just to see what's on it or get some new ideas, Victor's available. Again, Victor, what is your email again?
info@konnectmethod.com and connect with K.
Okay.
info@konnectmethod.com, or they can find me on the Instagram, Viktor_Pilates, and Victor with K as well. If you do with C, you will follow somebody in Russia. It's not me.
All right. So again, if you have any questions from him, you can also always contact me, nora@pilates.com, and I can refer you to him. The recording usually takes us a couple of days, Rahut, to put the recording up, but it will be up typically, I believe it's on our webpage under the at home section. You can just go on to there and you'll find that. But also often we'll send a link. And if you don't find it, let me know. It probably won't be up till today's Tuesday, probably Thursday or Friday or so. Then it should be back up by then. There's also a really great introductory video on our website that you can also look at. That's a really nice way to just get a broader sense of what all the exercises are, because Victor's done that one as well and gives you another good taste of it all. All right, my friends, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you all for coming. And keep working. This is a wonderful, we kind of took this on at Balanced Body here because it's such a wonderful advancement of what we already do. I really agree with everything Victor said about taking the principles of Pilates and just expanding them, giving you more options. So thank you guys. Really a pleasure to see you all. And we look forward to seeing you for the next round.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.